Hello, fellow readers. Another week of reading through the Bible in 1 year. We are in the middle of one of the Johns. We read through some Psalms and Proverbs, and we're in Daniel. So let's get into what I got out of it this week. And so what we have learned applies to our lives today, and God has a lot to say in His book. So, a little known fact. In order to be considered a Disney princess, you either have to be born royal, married royal, or did a great act, like how Mulan saved China. And I feel like this is kind of the qualifications for making it into the Old Testament, mostly. You are either born an ancestor of Jesus, married an ancestor of Jesus, or did a great act, like how Moses took all the Israelites out of Egypt, right? Because he's not in the lineage. But I feel like Daniel is none of those. You might argue that he did a great act, but I would argue that he did not, because he interpreted dreams, and at that time, there were hundreds of people who interpreted dreams, so it's not that amazing. But he made it into the Old Testament anyways, right? Why? Well, I think it's because there are, how many prophecies we just go through that are like, the Israelites aren't listening, the land is evil, and God's going to have to ravage it. But then we come up with Daniel, who loves God, and he listens to him, right? And it's just refreshing to see a man who, there's nothing really special about him, right? But he made it into the story because of how much he loved God and listened to him and did what he said, right? And it makes me think, like, if we were still writing down the Bible, does that make sense? Like, would my story make it in? A normal person just like Daniel, would I make it in because of how I'm listening to what God says? Right? Because of how I live my life following what He wants for me. So that's what I got out of it this week. Yeah, I like Daniel. I'll see you next week.